In order to make our knives here at Survival Teachings, the first step is to select your piece of metal that you're going to make your knife out of. This piece is a piece of a leaf spring. My first step is to clean it off, get the rust off of it so I can draw my blade style on it and I can see it clearly. I'll get started. Okay, after we have selected our metal, we've drawn our pattern, and we've cleaned it off.
We're going to go through and start profiling this knife. The handle, the blade, where it's going to turn into the handle to the blade, like all that whole process right there, depending on what design we want to go with the blade as well.
Protective gear is very important for this step.
Safety first.
Now that our knife has hit the different levels of grinding, it's time to start up the forge.
What the forge does is it actually brings up the metal to a melting point, to a crucial stage in the metal where it's soft enough to be manipulated with the hammer. We'll be able to beat it now and shape the handle and bring the blade edge more to a finer edge so we don't actually have to grind off as much. We're gonna light the forge now, so check this out. Fire burns up. I'll deal with it. Yeah, there we go. We'll take our piece of metal, start it, and we're going to put it right in the middle where these burners are. This is where the most heat's going to come down. So we're going to put it right here in the middle so it gets blessed with all this beautiful heat, bring it up to temperature.
Okay, now our metal's heat up. It's time to beat on it and shape it a little bit more like a knife.
He's going through right now is to be drawing flat the one side of the metal so he can make the edge smaller so we don't have to grind down as much. He's going to be able to draw that out, and then he's also going to be able to bang it out the handle and draw that out so he makes it nice and curved to fit your hand a little more.
Okay, now that we've forged down the blade edge and the handle, we've touched it up on the grinder to clean our edges up, and now it's time to reheat it back up and dunk it in the oil, which is called the tempering process.
You have to shake it back and forth and oscillate it so that when the bubbles form on the side, they don't stick to the side of the wall. You'll have little deformations on the side of the wall of the blade if you don't oscillate on the side because the bubbles form up. There you go. See it? It's that nice color. Now we'll just let it cool down. We'll just let it cool down by itself until it's ready. And then we'll knock it all off, clean it all up, and then we'll take it inside to the oven and we'll temper it.
Okay, now for a quick recap, we've selected our piece of metal, we drew out our blade shape, we used the first cutoff wheel to knock off some of the larger pieces, we took it into the grinder to clean up some of the smaller pieces, We took it to the forge to shape our blade edge and our handle. Now after that, we've dunked it in the oil to give us our hardening process. Now it leaves us with this oily, dark, scaly residue. So I'm going to knock that off with our wire wheel, and then we take it inside to throw it in the oven and finish the tempering process.
Alright, so now the process after forging and quenching it, that process makes it really hard. So right now this is very brittle. So the process that we have to go through is sticking in the oven, which I have it preheated to 375 degrees. Different metals require a different amount of length. What we're going to do is we're going to soften it up. What we want to do is bring it between Rockwell hardness of like 58 and 61. Okay? So we're going to put this one in with all these others that are on this cookie sheet, and we're going to stick them in and we're going to bake them for about the process, the amount of time that they require for their metal. Now we just wait. Okay, so now that we got it out of the oven and it's cooled down to room temperature, we can handle it. It's a little safer. What we're going to do is we're going to put 550 paracord, which has 7 strands on the inside of it, like this right here. Alright, so this is a good survival tool in case you decide that you just would like to continue carrying it the way we have it set up. But it's also set up with these little holes so you can put your own handle on it as well.
Now that we've got the tempering process completed, we've got our handle put on. Before we make a sheath for it, we're going to go ahead and sharpen it. I'm going to start at 60 grit. That's what we'll do to take this dime's width edge down. Once we see a little fine curl come up with that, we go up to 120. And then we go up to the next one, which is 400 grit. And then we take it up to the next, which is 1000 grit. After that, you got a nice razor sharp edge. Now that we have our knife completed, got our handle done, got our sharp edge put on it, now it's time to make a sheath. I got my whole Kydex station right here. We're going to start out with a big chunk of Kydex. I got to cut out a square that I'm going to use to start my, my pattern for my knife. We're going to heat it up. I'm going to bring it over here to the press and taco it and see what we get.
Well, we'd like to thank you guys for coming along with us, watching our process and seeing how we do things. Obviously, you're interested in what we're doing. We'd love to share any of the skills that we're teaching out here with you. Just come on down and let us know.
Hey, give us a shout if there's anything you saw us do today that you want to learn, that you got a friend that wants to learn. Let us know. Email survivalpathways@gmail.com, forgefootprints@gmail.com, Fly Farm on Facebook, Forge Footprints, Ogre Forge, Survival Pathways,
Smoke signals. Don't forget
Facebook,
those. Instagram.
There's 100 different ways, man. Get a hold of us. Let us know. We'll help you guys out.
Come and check us out.